The first thing anyone noticed wasn't the blood, it was the silence. Not the calm kind, not the peaceful kind, the kind of silence that presses against your ears like something terrible is about to happen or already has. Machines flickered, monitors beeped in uneven rhythms, and in the middle of it all lay a man who looked more like a battlefield than a human being. They had rushed him in without ceremony, without introduction, without even a name. Just a tag, unidentified, critical, priority alpha. And standing at the edge of that chaos, adjusting her gloves with steady hands, was the woman no one seemed to notice. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet strength of people the world overlooks, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this connect us all, no matter where we are. They called her Emily Carter. To most, she was just another nurse, efficient, quiet, invisible in the hierarchy of the hospital. She didn't argue. She didn't demand attention. She moved like someone who understood that in a place where life and death collided every minute, ego had no place. But that night, something was different. The man on the table wasn't just another patient. His body told a story even before anyone could. Deep lacerations, shrapnel wounds, bruises layered over bruises, old and new. His pulse flickered like a dying flame, refusing to go out. "Prep for surgery," the surgeon said, his voice sharp, commanding. Dr. Richard Hale was known for his brilliance and for the way he dismissed anything that didn't fit into his world of precision and control. When Emily stepped forward to assist, he barely glanced at her. "She's only a nurse," he muttered under his breath to a resident, loud enough for her to hear, dismissing her presence as if she were just another tool in the room. Emily didn't react. She never did. Years had taught her that words could sting, but they could also be ignored. What mattered was the patient. But as they began working, something shifted. The man's eyes fluttered open for just a second, barely a flicker, a ghost of awareness. His lips moved, cracked and dry, struggling to form words that seemed too heavy for his broken body. Emily leaned closer, instinct guiding her. And then she heard it, a whisper so faint it almost dissolved into the air. "You have no idea who she is." The words weren't for her. They were for the surgeon. And somehow, in that fragile moment between life and death, they carried weight. Dr. Hale paused just for a fraction of a second. Then he shook it off, irritation flashing across his face. "Focus," he snapped, "we're losing him." The room surged back into motion. Scalpel, suction, pressure. Commands fired like bullets, but something had already changed. Emily's hands moved with a quiet confidence that didn't belong to someone just a nurse. She anticipated every need before it was spoken. Instruments appeared in her grip before the surgeon could ask. Her eyes tracked vital signs with a precision that bordered on instinct. And when something went wrong, and it did, she was the first to catch it. "There's internal bleeding, left quadrant," she said, her voice calm but urgent. Dr. Hale frowned. "That's not what the scan showed." "It's there," she insisted, not louder, but firmer. "He's crashing." For a moment, tension filled the room like a held breath. Challenging a surgeon mid-operation wasn't just risky, it was almost unheard of. But then the monitor dipped, hard, and suddenly, her words weren't a suggestion anymore. They were truth. "Clamp, drive," Hale barked, shifting direction. "Now." What they found was exactly what she had said, a hidden bleed that would have killed him within minutes. Silence fell again, but this time it was different. Not fear, respect, or at least the beginning of it. The surgery stretched for hours, each second dragging like a lifetime. Sweat gathered under masks, hands trembled, not from weakness, but from the sheer weight of what they were trying to hold together. And through it all, Emily never faltered. Not when his heart stuttered. Not when the bleeding worsened. Not when the odds turned against them again and again. She stayed steady, focused, unshaken. By the time they finally stabilized him, the room felt like it had been through a war of its own. Dr. Hale stepped back, removing his gloves slowly. For the first time, he looked at her, not through her, not past her, but at her. "Good call," he said, the words unfamiliar on his tongue. Emily just nodded, because for her, this wasn't about recognition. It never had been. But the story didn't end there. In the days that followed, the man remained unconscious, suspended between worlds. No ID, no family, no answers, just a body fighting to survive. Until one morning, everything changed. The hospital doors opened, and men in uniform walked in, silent, focused, carrying an air that didn't belong in ordinary places. They weren't loud. They didn't need to be. Their presence spoke for them. Navy SEALs. And suddenly, the unidentified patient wasn't so unidentified anymore. His name was Daniel Reeves, a decorated operator, a man who had spent years in shadows doing things most people would never understand. And the injuries, they weren't from an accident. They were from a mission that had gone terribly wrong. When Dr. Hale learned the truth, something unsettled him, not because of who the man was, but because of what he had said. "You have no idea who she is." The words lingered, because now he needed to know. It didn't take long. Records surfaced, quiet conversations happened behind closed doors, and piece by piece, a story emerged, one that no one in that hospital had expected. Emily Carter hadn't always been just a nurse. Years ago, she had been one of the most promising trauma surgeons in her field. Brilliant, respected, the kind of doctor people trusted with impossible cases. Until the day everything fell apart. A surgery, a complication, a life she couldn't save. It wasn't her fault, not truly. But guilt doesn't care about truth. It latches on, digs deep, and refuses to let go. She walked away, from the title, from the prestige, from everything, choosing instead to stay where she felt she could still help, without carrying the weight of being the one in charge. She became a nurse not because she couldn't be more, but because she needed to be less. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. When Daniel finally woke up, his recovery was slow, painful, and uncertain. But the first person he asked for wasn't a doctor. It was her, Emily. And when she walked into his room, something unspoken passed between them. Recognition, gratitude, a shared understanding of things that didn't need words. He remembered, not just the surgery, but her. Years ago, in a different place, under different circumstances, she had saved his life once before. Back when she was still the surgeon everyone admired. He had never forgotten. And now, she had done it again. Only this time, she didn't even claim it. Dr. Hale stood in the doorway, watching. And for the first time in his career, he felt something he wasn't used to feeling. Humility. Because he had been wrong, not just about her skills, but about what it meant to matter. Emily never asked for recognition, never corrected anyone who underestimated her, never revealed her past unless someone truly needed to know. She just showed up, every day, for every patient, giving everything she had, quietly. If this story has touched your heart even a little, take a moment to like, share, and comment, because stories like this remind us of the strength hidden in ordinary people. And before this story ends, there's something special we'd love you to do. Write "kindness still matters" in the comments if you believe the world needs more people like Emily. Because in the end, the truth wasn't about titles, or status, or who stood at the head of the operating table. It was about the ones who stayed when things got hard. The ones who saw people, not positions. The ones who didn't need recognition to do extraordinary things. Dr. Hale never called her just a nurse again, because now he knew. And maybe now, so do you.